Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational all right, so for your key to the week this week, you have your card, right? So your card is the death card. You are ruled by the death card, and you know it gets a bad rap, but actually the beauty that's found here is in transformation. Right now we throw that word around so many times, all the time actually, when it comes to Scorpio and the 8th house and, you know, oh, the transformation this and transformation that. What is transformation? It's taking something and turning it into something else, right? It's actually the energy or the same process as alchemy, right? So this is one of the reasons yours is the most powerful sign, because it has the ability to die and come back from those ashes, just like the phoenix that used to be the original emblem for your sign. Now, that being said, the death card suggests that there are completions, culminations and endings that are happening for you this week. And, you know, the question really becomes, what are you ready to release? What are you ready to let go of? Where is it that you are ready to be reborn in some way, shape or form? Where is it that you are ready to regenerate in all of these areas of your life? Somewhere you're going to be, somewhere you're going to be in a space where you're ready to regenerate or recreate yourself or an aspect of yourself. So for your actions and options, you've got the Hierophant card. So in a lot of ways, there's no getting around that. I had to think about it because I was like, maybe we can do a reframe here. And it's like, no, you can't, because one of the meanings of this combination is literally a funeral. I touch wood. I truly hope that I'm wrong on this front. You know, maybe this will be for somebody on the wider world stage. The fact that you have this Hierophant card here, what your old belief structures are, your old ideas, things that you used to identify with, some of your personal rituals and routines that you do on a daily basis are now coming to an end. And it might be for some of you that when you have an old idea or an old thought or an old belief, right, and you're trying to get into something new. As an example, I have gone through my, I've taught 2 bunches of tarot students now, and sometimes coming to this world, right, and it feels so right, but then if you've got so much conditioning and history like I did, I was born into a very religious Catholic family, that was fun. Right, and so when you come into all of these things, because the people that love you fear for your soul and all the rest of it, it can be you have this internal battle of, this world feels like it's right for me, this feels like the path that I'm supposed to walk with all the gifts that I have, and then my heritage is teaching me that this maybe isn't necessarily a good path. And so you go through this internal conflict, and it kind of suggests that this week you're done with that, right? It's like, whatever people think or feel about what or who I am or what or who I have been, that's done. I am no longer going to live my life with my hands tied behind my back. I'm no longer going to live my life or be myself through the guise of my heritage, my family, my religion, my whatever. It's like this week you're cracking the shell and you're revealing or re-revealing who you are in some way, shape or form. So on a personal level, this could be a very powerful week for regeneration for you for sure. It is going to require you to let something go though, and it does feel like something that is quite or has been up until this point, a fundamental part of who you are. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. You've got this underneath the Death card. So I'm really sorry to say, but it looks like maybe a trip that you have planned may not necessarily go ahead this week, or it may not happen in the way that you're expecting, right? So you might have a trip planned to go and visit family, and you think, we're going to hop in the car and it's going to happen. And unfortunately, it looks like that may not. One way that this could also show up for you, you might have to take alternative transport. So, maybe you thought you were taking your car, and I don't know, your spare tire determined that was a lie, because the tire that you've got currently doesn't, isn't in working order. So you have to take someone else's car. Maybe you have to rent one. Maybe you have to take the train, right? Or maybe you have to take a coach or a bus. Like, there's something about whatever plans you had to travel this week to visit people, it looks like it's either being delayed or it's being halted. And I'm really sorry to say that. I really hope I'm wrong. When it comes to your, for those of you that are, it could be as well, the other way that this could work, it might not necessarily be that your travel plans are not happening. Maybe somebody that had planned to come and visit you, maybe you get the phone call and they say, look, we're not going to be able to come. We're not going to be able to make it for any number of reasons. Again, I hope I'm wrong. When it comes to your, those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be a real shocker for some of you, right? Maybe you are on that path and you're heading towards the job of your dreams, climbing the corporate ladder, you're doing your thing, and then this week hits and bam, all of a sudden some long-held goal, some long-held, position or accolade or title that you wanted just suddenly does not have that appeal or that draw for you. And it's like, wow, okay, well, if I'm not going to do that then, right, it's always one of those moments for all of us in some way, shape or form. If I'm not that, if I'm not going to be that, if I'm not going to do that, what do I do then? I'm a big fan of telling people to take a moment to sit in the stillness, right? Because that's where all the answers come from. We can be big and we can be loud and we can chase after everything and all the rest of it. But what happens when we meet our challenges, when, the greatest things in our lives happen? We take a moment, right, to really soak in the experience. And in my personal understanding and experience of life, my many 36 years, right, in my personal understanding, it's that moment at which you take a breath, you allow everything to settle, then you really find out, okay, like the inner faculties speak, and everything else comes in to support you in a way that really matters. This could be an interesting week for that. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, again, maybe some direction that you were taking your business, maybe some longer term plan or goal that you had for your business. You now think, you know what? I can change this, or I can shift it, or actually, I don't know, maybe your plans for world domination are, you know what, I don't want that anymore. There's something else that is actually more pressing or more needed. And, within the death card is the seed of a rebirth of some sort. So for some of you, although there's no other cards here that suggest it, I know that the eclipses are shifting into, Sagittarius, Scorpio and Taurus. The North Node and the South Node are going to shift in January. And I think when that happens, there are going to be a lot of changes. All right, so just keep that in mind. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, again, this could just be, for some of you, this feels like something that you've been studying, something that you've been working on, something that you've been gathering knowledge and information on. You might decide that actually, you know what, I don't need to finish the course. I feel like I've learned enough from it. I think I've got from it everything that I need to. And this could be a really wonderful moment of self-honesty, And this is the thing, yes, there's a lot to be said for finishing things, but every so often we find ourselves on a path where it's like, you know what, I know I've got from this what I needed and I'm done with it. Thank you, but I will continue on my own path. Fair play. You got the Six of Wands as your love and relations. So this is really nice. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is a win for the relationship, right? Especially for those of you that are married. This is a win for the partnership, a win for the relationship, whether this is for you or for your partner. Some form of good news that comes in, really, it kind of helps both of you. It benefits both of you. It might even be knowledge or information that you didn't expect to have, which could be fantastic. All right. So, or maybe something here is being fast tracked as well. For those of you that are single, I mean, through studies, through work, in possibly quite some really unconventional place, you know, or situation. Maybe you find somebody, maybe you could align with a partner or a potential partner. It's likely to be in either in transit or as a result of plans that didn't happen. And this is one of the reasons, right? We never know why the universe does what it does or what some of the crazy reasons are behind things, but very often some of the greatest things that come into our lives, they come very much by serendipity or coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in synchronicity, and this could be one of those moments, or certainly one of those meetings. All right, so for your money and materials, you've got the Page of Swords. You've got this underneath this Knight of Pentacles. For some of you, this is going to be an interview. For some of you, this could be an interview that is cancelled, that doesn't go ahead, or one that you were expecting. For some of you, it looks like you're going to pull out of it last minute. You know, and it kind of feels like it's like one of those things where you thought about it, and then in the end it was like, no, this isn't the right job for me, or it's not the right career move. When it comes to your money and your finances, though, this week, anything that you are buying, especially if it's like a credit agreement, make sure you check the fine print, all right? Because the chances are that this could be, it could be a little bit dicey later down. Not right now. Like right now, it could be great, you know, it could be one of those things, but just check the fine print, because I kind of get the feeling that there's something you might be overlooking. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I often say this is the card that shows up like when you know, touch wood, I hope I'm wrong, shut your finger in the door, where you slam your fingers in the drawer, you know, you cut your finger while you're chopping chicken or onions or whatever. This is that, it's like that small, sharp, annoying kind of accident. Not fatal or anything like that, but it does tend to be something that you could do without. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the Scorpio videos, but I remember once breaking my little toe as I walked out of my bathroom. My pinky toe smacked into the door frame, and at the time I was already late for something, and I was like, I don't even have time to deal with this. So I just kept on about my day, and by the time I finished my day, my foot was literally like this color. It was awful. So this could be that kind of thing. Like, just be careful with your extremities, your fingers, your toes this week. All right. And then when it comes to your full moon message, so you got the full moon in the sign of Gemini, which I believe is your 8th house. So you've got the gate 60 and limits, right? So this full moon is actually really going to help highlight to you where the limits of what you're trying to achieve are yourself, where the limits that you're trying to break or to move past, or the boundaries that you're coming up against, are actually coming from within and need to be addressed there before the outer ones will be released. So this full moon could really see you coming full circle on something, you know, on a really powerful and very deep level for yourself. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. It would be wonderful to have you at the solstice. Take care, and I will see you soon. Whatever you do or don't celebrate, I wish you all the best.